Hi guys, HK91 here. Well, today I'm going to bring to you a tabletop comparison between a HK91 and a PTR91. As far as I know, I did swap the part back and forth, and it's fit 100%, the internal, okay? The handguard, yes, it will also fit, but this particular model wasn't fit because I have a shorter handguard. But if you get a GI model or a S model, they will perfectly 99.9% part swap, they even do almost, I would say almost the same. Made from the same toolings, same machinery. This guy was PTR, the guy named Alan DS or something. He bought some surplus, tooling from Portugal, I don't know, 20 years ago. So he have a capable of making the PTR91 clone of the HK91 or a G3, okay? So enough talking. So let's break it down and see what's the difference. You see, I flagged the two gun because, some of you was telling me that I need to safety check before I handle my firearm. So just to be safe, it's safety check. Pull the flak out. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go from buttstock to the muzzle. They use the same exact push pin. Okay. I just swap them back and forth. So if I mix it like that, I don't know which is which. I'm put it back exactly the same way. It's exactly the same pin, okay? There's no difference. So let's do this. That's gun stock. The gun stock was exact same gun stock. I believe PTR was using a lot of G3 surplus parts. So I believe that it was made from a surplus part that was from G3. So at least this metal part, but this plastic part, I think they make themselves or they outsource it out for some company. But you compare them side by side, exact same stock. I can't tell a difference. If you can tell a difference, let me know. Okay, same recoil spring. Okay. But the buffer on the HK91 looks somewhat heavier. The buffer components, okay, in here. This seems to be a little bit heavier, okay? Mine was the older style. Mine was made before even HK USA even around, so it's a Seiko import. So it's older style, okay? Stock almost identical. The buffer tube, not buffer tube, the buffer on the HK91 was somewhat heavier buffer, and you feel different, guys. If you shoot the two guns side by side, the PTR tend to have a little bit more recoil compared to the HK91. Okay, slightly different. You couldn't tell different if you are not recoil sensitive, but I'm not. My brother, he said, "Oh yeah, your PTR definitely kick a lot more." I said, "Well, I can't tell different," but he does. So other than the painting, the HK semi-gray, and the PTR was Cerakoted or powder coated black. Okay, put it on the side. Okay, and put my water away. All right, lower component. The lower component is almost the same. Okay, the trigger, the safety, the housing, okay? The only time I can tell different with the X for the PTR91, that's the only time I can tell the difference. But HK, drop right in, okay? Drop right in, put the safety on. Line up the hole. Oh, well, the HK91, I get to do a trigger chop on it by the guy named Bill Springfield in Colorado. So the trigger pull on it was, I would say, about 4 pounds. $75, guys, well spent. Okay. I found that the HK was a little bit stiffer than the PTR91s on a fitting size, you know, be somewhat almost identical. You see that? I couldn't tell the difference. You can. I couldn't tell the difference on the two. Okay, the only thing I can tell was the X for the PTR and no X for the HK91. Okay, that's the only time I can tell the difference between the two. Okay. Okay, all right, put it on the side. Hold on, let me put this thing on because I don't want to mess with it afterward. Putting this thing back together. On the PTR, it's a little bit tighter and fit and finish. Well, the safety is somewhat different, not much. HK got a gray finish, and the PTR got that parkerized bluing finish. Okay. The trigger housing for the HK91 is a little bit looser than the polymer because the polymer tend to, it will break, you know, loose over time. But you know, this gun barely have, I would say, maybe 400 rounds through this gun. Okay, so, and this one being shoot, I mean, at least a couple thousand rounds. You can tell by the ejection port here. Okay, side by side. Hold on, I can't tell which is which. I'm gonna put them out. Okay, all right, let's do the receiver here. The GI model out of PTR91, they don't come with a rail, but this is a somewhat tactical model, so come with a PTT rail. The HK91 doesn't come with the rail, so you know they meant to be a battle rifle, so you don't really need, you know, to put the scope on it. That what they not believe in, at least in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. So at least in the 80s, they don't believe in, you know, a combat soldier need to have a scope on their, on somewhat a sight, you know. Iron sight, open sight is good enough to be, they call it combat accuracy. Okay. Let's look at the muzzle device. Can you tell the difference? It was threaded with HK standard threading. PTR was 5.8 by 24. It's kicked a little bit more. So Mr. Steven Santana and I was decided to put a muzzle brake on here. Okay. If Steven Santana watching this video, voila, there's your gun, buddy. Front sight is almost, I would say, almost identical. I couldn't tell a difference. If I took them out, you know, the front side post and then throw it on the side, put it back, I can't tell which is which. The fit and finish on it is exactly the same. Okay. The charging handle be a slightly different because it's the older model. It comes with this polymer, plasticky grip, and this all metal grip. This tend to break. I've been seeing it break before. I saw it break before. I have seen it. You know, it's broke at the gun shop. So, you know, it really doesn't affect anything on a. It's only cosmetics. Okay. So look at the bolt. PTR. HK91. You couldn't tell a difference other than some markings. You know, this mark PTR on the top of the bolt carrier, and on the bolt carrier of the what do you call it, HK91. They have this HK marking, and then the dates and the month and the year. No, sorry, not the date. The date code was 1977, and it was in November, so 11/77. Okay, it's almost identical. I would say it's identical, because if I put this bolt carrier, HK carrier, okay, in my PTR, it fit perfectly fine. Vice versa. If I put my PTR bolt into my HK, it fit and closed perfectly fine. It will shoot like that too. I shot it with, you know, swap the bolt. It's cycled perfectly fine. I have no trouble of cycling the bolt or the, you know, with either part. Okay, you couldn't tell the difference. It's almost like, you know, I was at first I thought it was, you know, buying surplus part from what you call it, HK, to build the PTR, but I was wrong. They make everything in house, so that's good. In South Carolina, it's very violent. This freaking thing is very violent. Okay, and twist rates, I figured out that the PTR was 1 in 10 twist rates, and then the fluted chamber was 12 instead of 10 for the HK91 was 10 fluted. Old HK was came with 10. It got some, I don't know, I can't tell the difference, you know, by looking at it. You know, I did one time with paint after the count by one, so this actually came with 12, and this HK is came with 10 glue, what do you call it, a fluted, you know, cut on the barrel. Twist rates, 1/10 and 1/12 twist rates. HK all come with 1/12. The PTR somewhat changed a little faster, those slower twist rates, because of the, what you call it, you can shoot higher weight of bullets, up to 68 grain. If it's a 68 grain, 175 grain. Accuracy wise, I'm kind of disappointed on the PTR, because my HK91 shoot, you know, I would say a little better iron sight. I'd be able to shoot about 1.5 inches iron sight at 100 yards with my HK91. Same ammo, vice versa. It beat the PTR by about 1.5 inches. So let's see on the lever, okay, to take the magazine release lever, okay, for the PTR came with the paddle release, and the HK91 doesn't come. It only comes with a push button, and the push button, if you put them side by side, if my camera woman can do a little focus here, it's almost, I would say, it might, you know, PTR might use the surplus part, you know, for the PTR91, okay? The rear sight is somewhat different. You need a screwdriver to set the, what do you call it, another windage, the windage for not elevation, the windage for the HK91. And the PTR come with this newer style, you know, turn, and they all use the same tools to set the top. The screw look almost the same. If you can compare side by side, the sights is almost identical. I couldn't tell different. If you can't, I couldn't tell a difference. I even took them out one time. They have the same loaded spring on the bottom, exactly the same. And if I throw them in the bucket and take them out without this, you know, we call it this windage adjustment, I couldn't tell the two, you know, the difference. The finish on it's almost the same. So sorry guys, you know, the PTR beat the HK91 by about $2,000 in price. So, and the fit and finish on the PTR are surprisingly good. I mean, it's actually fit, if the finish on the PTR91 was actually better than the HK91, because I don't know, it might be me. If you can tell the difference, I cannot tell the difference. Well, it's just a short video for you guys to know. The handguard, you know, was not fit on this model, but yeah, GI model, perfectly fine. I also had come with this HK, what do you call it, bipod. There you go, bipod to attach to the wide handguard, but the bipod won't fit on a slim handguard. So that's all I have for you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget, keep America great and happy holiday.